Hello everyone. In today's class, what we'll be trying to understand is empirical and molecular formula. So what is empirical formula and what is molecular formula? How these two formulas are related and how we can calculate empirical and molecular formula of a given substance or a compound. So that is what we'll be trying to understand in this particular class. So first, let us try to see the definition of empirical and molecular formula. The molecular formula of a compound gives the actual number of atoms of various elements in a molecule of it. So when we say molecular formula, a molecular formula gives us the actual number of atoms. Okay, what a molecule of that particular substance contains. Okay, for example, the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. So when we say molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6, what basically we understand from the given formula is one molecule of glucose contains 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, and 6 oxygen. So when I say glucose, one molecule of glucose contains 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, and 6 oxygen. So this complete for actually number of atoms, the actual number of atoms which we get in one molecule of a particular substance, that formula is nothing but molecular formula. Then the other question is, what is empirical formula? Empirical formula gives us the simplest whole number ratio of the atoms of various element in a molecule of it. So empirical formula gives us the simplest whole number ratio. It does not give us the actual number of atoms. It tells us that what is the ratio of the various elements which are present in a particular molecule. Okay, like for example, if the empirical formula or if we take the empirical formula of glucose, okay, so we have to make it a simplest whole number ratio. So I hope you can understand glucose formula is C6H12O6. So if I want to make it to simplest for our ratio, so what I need to take is 6 common. So what I'll get is C and H2 and O. I'm taking 6 common. So what I'll get is CH2O. That is the simplest ratio. So the empirical formula of glucose is CH2O. What does it tell us? That it tells us that in glucose, the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are present in the ratio of 1:2:1. So in glucose, for every 1 carbon atom, there is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So that is the ratio in which it is present. So whenever we say molecular formula and empirical formula, molecular formula gives us the actual number of atoms of different elements present in a molecule of a particular substance, but empirical formula gives us the ratio of these various elements which are present in a molecule of a particular substance. In some of the cases or in most of the cases, empirical formula and molecular formula may remain same. Okay, so it is not necessary they have to be always different. If the molecular formula is present in the simplest form, then the empirical formula will also remain same. Okay, so let us now try to see the relationship between the empirical and molecular formula. So relationship between empirical and molecular formula. The relationship between empirical and molecular formula is this. Molecular formula is n times of empirical formula. So whatever is that common factor we are taking from molecular formula to get the empirical formula, to get the simplest ratio, that common factor is nothing but n. Okay, and n can be any natural number. Okay, so from this particular definition, what is the value of n? So n will be equal to, because molecular formula is n times of empirical formula, so n will be equal to molecular formula by empirical formula. Okay, or what we can write is molecular formula is molecular mass by empirical formula mass. So that is how we calculate that common factor. So if we know the molecular mass and empirical formula mass, then the ratio of that is nothing but n. Okay. Now, how to take or how to deal with problems based on empirical and molecular formula. Okay. So let us try to take one example to understand it. A compound contains 4.07% hydrogen, 24.27% carbon, and 71.65% chlorine. Okay, so that is the percentage composition. Okay, so in a compound, there is 4.07 hydrogen, 24.27 carbon, and 71.65 chlorine. We don't know how many chlorine, how many hydrogen, and how many carbons are present. That is what we need to get. It is given that that particular compound will have molecular mass of 98.96. So molecular mass is 98.96. What we need to find is empirical as well as its molecular formula. So we need to find both. So how should we proceed for such kind of problems? Now, there are many ways of solving such problems. Okay, there are many ways of doing it. One of the simplest way of doing it is by drawing this particular table. Okay, it becomes very simple to understand from this particular table. So what basically they have given us is the element and the percentage. Atomic mass, we know. Okay, we have to know. So once we know these three things, okay, which will be either given or atomic mass may not be given, then what we need to find out is the relative number of atom. So sometimes in some of the textbook, it will not be written as relative number of atom. It is written as atomic ratio. What is atomic ratio? Atomic ratio is nothing but the percentage, the ratio of the percentage composition by the atomic mass. That is atomic ratio. Then we make it to simplest atomic ratio. Okay. And the final one, what we do is, if it is not a whole number ratio, we convert it to whole number ratio. Okay. So let us see in our case. So in our case, three elements are given: hydrogen, chlorine, and carbon. Okay. Hydrogen is given 4.07. Carbon is given 24.27, and chlorine is given 71.65. Atomic mass of hydrogen 1, carbon 12, and chlorine 35.5. So what we do now is to calculate the relative number of atoms. Okay, in this particular percentage, what is the relative number of atoms of hydrogen? So what do we do is 4.07% divided by 1. So I'll get 4.0 almost 2. Okay, I am trying to round it off. Okay, so if it is 24.27 by 12, okay, I'll almost get to 2.0. And 71.65 divided by 35.5, again I'll get 2.0. Once we get this relative number of atoms, now to take it to simplest ratio. Now I hope you know that to convert anything to simplest ratio, we divide by the smallest value. So over here in this particular relative number of atom, 2 is the smallest value. So we'll divide all the values by 2. So 4 by 2, that is 2, 2 by 2, which is 1, 2 by 2, which is 1. Okay, so if this will not come out as to be a whole number ratio, then we have to convert into whole number ratio. Since this is a whole number ratio itself, so we are writing the same thing. So 2, 1, 1. That means the ratio of hydrogen, carbon, and chlorine is 2:1:1. So what do we know from the formula of empirical formula is, empirical formula gives us the simplest whole number ratio. So if I try to write the empirical formula, so the empirical formula of the compound will be hydrogen will be 2, carbon will be 1, chlorine will be 1, H2CCl. So that is empirical formula. That is how we find empirical formula. Now to find out the molecular formula, what do we do is we find the value of n, because what do we know is empirical formula is equal to, or a molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into n. N times of empirical formula is molecular formula. So if I want to find molecular formula, first I need to find what is the value of that n, that is the integer. So now n is equal to what we know is molecular mass by empirical formula mass. So how to calculate empirical formula mass from the empirical formula? So in the empirical formula, we have two hydrogen, H2, so 2 into 1, and C and Cl. Carbon is 12, chlorine is 35.5. If I'll add this up, I'll get 49.5. So that is the empirical formula mass. Molecular mass is already given in the question. So now we'll just take the ratio. So it will be 98.96, which is the molecular formula, divided by 49.5, which is the empirical formula mass, which I'll get as 1.99, which we always round it off to a whole number value or a natural number. Okay, we never keep it to such decimal points. Always remember that. So now, once we have got N, so now what do we know is molecular formula is empirical formula into N. What is the value of N? Value of N is 2. So if it is 2, if I just multiply it, what I'll get is H4C2Cl. So that is the formula of the compound, which they have given us in the form of the percentage. So that is how we convert any given percentage into the empirical formula or molecular formula. Okay, so let us try to go for the next. The percentage composition of a substance is as follows. So they have given us the percentage composition again. So they have given phosphorus, oxygen, and sulfur. What they have given us is the vapor density of the substance is 190. Okay, find out the molecular formula of the substance. So what and how should we proceed? Again, first we need to find out the empirical formula from the percentage. So again, we'll try to do the very same thing. Okay, so first we'll write the elements, that is phosphorus, oxygen, and sulfur. Percentage 32.64 for phosphorus, oxygen is 16.81, and sulfur is 50.55. Then atomic mass is 31 for phosphorus, oxygen is 16, and sulfur is 32. Okay, relative number of atoms. So what is the relative number of atoms? Again, it is atomic ratio, that is percentage by atomic mass. Okay, so what is the percentage? 32.64. And what is the relative number of atoms? That is 31, which will give out to be 1.05. Again, relative number of atoms for oxygen, it is 16.81 divided by 16, which will give us 1.05. And for sulfur, 50.55 divided by 32, which will give us 1.58. Then we try to get the simplest atomic ratio. How do we get the simplest atomic ratio? We divide it by the smallest one. Okay, so that is 1.05. So 1.05 divided by 1.05 gives you 1. 1.05 divided by 1.05, again 1. And 1.58 divided by 1.05 gives you 1.5. So if you see over here, it is not a whole number ratio. Okay, it is 1, and this is 1.5. To convert them into whole number ratio, I'll multiply this by 2. If I multiply 1.5 by 2, I'll get 3. But if I multiply this by 2, I have to multiply the rest also by 2. So 1 into 2 will be 2, this will be 2, and this will be 3. So the ratio in which phosphorus, oxygen, and sulfur is present in this particular compound, which we need to find, is in the ratio of 2:2:3. So the empirical formula will be P2O2S3. So once we have got empirical formula, now what we need to get is the molecular formula. So now before getting molecular formula, we have to get the value of N. So before getting N, let us try to get the empirical formula mass. So empirical formula mass will be 2 into 31 phosphorus, 2 into 16 for oxygen, and 3 into 32 for sulfur, which will give us 190. Now, to find out the value of N, remember that N is nothing but molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Molecular mass is not given to us. In the question, what is given is vapor density. If ever you come across vapor density and you require molecular mass of a particular substance, always remember that molecular mass of any substance is always twice of the vapor density. Okay, so twice of vapor density. So vapor density is given to be 190. So it will be 380. So remember this formula, molecular mass is twice of vapor density. So once we are done with that, so N will be equal to molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Molecular mass 380, empirical formula mass 190. So what we get is 2. So what will be the formula? Hence, molecular formula will be equal to empirical formula into n. Empirical formula we have got, multiply by 2. What it will give us is P4O4H6. Okay, so that is nothing but the molecular formula of the substance. Okay, coming for the next, an organic compound containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen gave on analysis 40% carbon and 6.6% hydrogen. Its empirical formula would be, and they have given us the 4 options. So how to solve this kind of problem? Now over here, you please try to see carefully. Okay, this type of question, or this is one of your previous year's NEET question only. If you see what is given is carbon and hydrogen is given. Okay, the percentage, and oxygen is not given. Okay, in such cases, obviously it's percentage composition, so percentage composition has to be 100. So if 2 element is given or 3 element is given and one of them is not given, what you must do is add the other 2 which is given and deduct it by 100. So total percentage will be 100. So I'll deduct whatever is the total of carbon and hydrogen with it. So whatever is left is of oxygen. Okay, so the percentage of oxygen will be, total is 100. If you see, carbon is 40 and hydrogen is 6.6. So it will be 46.66. 100 minus 46.66 will give you 53.34. So that means 53.34 is oxygen. Most of the students get confused over here because the percentage of oxygen will not be provided. Okay, and sometimes they do make mistake by calculating only carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so remember that. So once we get the percentage, again, it's the very same thing. So what we need to do is we just need to now calculate in the very same way carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, put the percentage 46.6 and 53.34. Atomic mass of carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 16. Then we have to get the atomic ratio, so which is nothing but percentage by atomic mass. 40 by 12, 3.33. 6.66 divided by 1, 6.66. 53.34 divided by 16, which will give us 3.33. Now, again, we need to convert into simplest ratio. So we need to divide by the smallest, which is 3.33. So 3.33 by 3.33 gives us 1. 6.66 divided by 3.33 gives us 2. 3.33 divided by 3.33 gives us 1. So since this is coming in the form of whole number, I need not convert. Okay, and it is in the simplest form. So the simplest whole number ratio is 1:2:1. And since we are to calculate on the empirical formula, so the empirical formula will be CH2 and O. That will be option 3. Okay, so that is how we solve such problems where one of the percentage of the element is not given. Okay, let us take a final question. An organic compound contain carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen gave the following analysis. Okay, carbon 40, hydrogen 13.33, and nitrogen 46.67. Its empirical formula would be, so the empirical formula is given. Now again, in the very same way, in this case, all the elements are given. So what we need to do is just calculate the percentage. So obviously carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, you can see clearly, and it is 40 carbon, hydrogen 13.33, and nitrogen 46.66. Then what do? Is we calculate atomic mass, okay, which we know carbon 12, hydrogen 1, and nitrogen 14. Once we are done with that, we find the relative mass or relative number of atoms or atomic ratio, which is 40 by 12, 3.33. 13.33 divided by 1, 13.33, and 46.67 divided by 14, 13.33. Once we are done with that, we have to convert them to simplest ratio. So divide by the smallest, that is 3.33. So 3.33 divided by 3.33 gives you 1. 13.33 divided by 3.33 gives you 4. And 3.33 divided by 3.33 gives you 1. Now, this is in the simplest whole number ratio. You cannot simplify it further. So what will be the ratio is 1:4:1. So the formula will be CH4N, which is option 3. So this is how we solve the problems based on empirical and molecular formula. Okay, so that is what we mean by empirical and molecular formula.